Have you ever had that feeling that nobody is really watching the games? As if the people who criticize your team the most aren't paying attention to what's really happening on the field? That's how I feel. The disrespect is real and comes from all sides, as if we should just accept it silently. But we see the progress, we see the potential, and now it's time to talk about what's really happening and where this team is heading. But before I tell you the details, click the like button so you don't miss any updates. Last place, 32nd place. That's where ESPN has placed the Cleveland Browns for the 2026 NFL season. Not 25th, not 20th, not even 29th. Last place. And to say that Cleveland fans and analysts are shocked is an understatement. This isn't just an insult, it's a complete disrespect for what the Browns actually accomplished last season and the team's current situation. When you see a defense that ranked among the top 5 in the league, among the top 4 in total defense, and then hear the national media acting as if that team is the worst in the NFL, you start to realize it's no longer ignorance, it's intentional. And let's be realistic, the Browns weren't the worst team in the NFL last season. Let's talk about some teams that were clearly worse, starting with the New York Jets. Their quarterback situation is still a complete mess, with no defined starter in sight. Are they really going to try Brady Cook again? They've already gotten rid of Justin Fields, and there's no confidence in Taylor. This team is adrift. The Las Vegas Raiders? Their offensive line was ranked even worse than Cleveland's, and Cleveland's line was ranked 32nd. That says it all. The Arizona Cardinals? No discussion. From top to bottom, Cleveland's roster is deeper and more talented. And we can't forget the Miami Dolphins, a team we completely dismantled last season with Dillon Gabriel. Yes, Dillon Gabriel, who won his first game in a match where Cleveland's defense completely dominated. So, 32nd place, that's not just inaccurate, it's utterly disrespectful, especially when this team has the best player in the league anchoring its defense. But the criticism doesn't stop at the rankings. ESPN also made clear what their solution is to fix the Browns. Invest everything in the offense. That was their recipe in 3 words. And you know what? They're not entirely wrong. The Browns' offense has been the worst in scoring over the last 2 seasons, and there's no denying that. But don't let that stop you from seeing the pieces that are already in place and the direction things are taking. The offense is being rebuilt, and that starts with the hiring of Todd Monken as head coach, an experienced offensive strategist with years of success on his resume. Andrew Berry is investing significantly this offseason, focusing on several key areas. Let's start with the offensive line. This is a unit that could have 4, maybe even 5, new starters by week 1. The draft will be crucial here, and thankfully the Browns have the 6th pick. This opens the door to choosing one of the 2 best offensive linemen in this year's class, Fono or Maui Noah. If one of them has already been chosen by the 3rd pick, as happened with Arizona, you choose the other. No hesitation. These 2 are the best offensive linemen in the draft, and Cleveland can't afford to make a mistake on this pick. It's time to build from the trenches. Fono brings versatility and refined technique, while Maui is a true powerhouse, an essential player in the running game, bringing the physicality that this offensive line desperately needs. He's been their starting tackle since day 1. But even if they choose a wide receiver in the 6th position, and we'll talk about that soon, the Browns still have another first-round pick, the 24th. That's where they could get players like Caleb Lamu, who has the speed and potential that offensive line needs, or Vega Yawan from Penn State, agile for his size and dominant in the running game. Caden Proctor is another name being considered, but he's controversial. Imposing physique, yes, but still raw and slow. He reminds many of Dewon Jones, huge, but a vulnerability in pass protection. And then there's Monroe Freeling from Georgia, who is gaining momentum in draft circles and could end up being picked 24th. Now, if they don't pick an offensive lineman with their 2 first-round picks, don't despair. There's talent in the second round too. At the 39th pick, you can still secure a guard with high potential, such as Emmanuel Noun or Connor Lew, both ranked among the top 2 at the position by Mel Kiper. And then there's Jennings Dunker. This guy is an underrated pick, overflowing with potential. He plays with grit, sports a mullet, and demonstrates intensity on every play. He could be available at the 39th pick, or perhaps even later, depending on how the draft lists unfold. After that, you have the 70th pick onward, where names like Jake Slaughter come into play. If Ethan Posich leaves in free agency or isn't ready after a ruptured Achilles tendon, Slaughter can take over the center position immediately. Great PFF grades, 0 sacks allowed last season, and an imposing presence on the line of scrimmage. Bring leadership and stability if the numbers make sense. Even AVT, Elijah Vera Tucker, is interesting if he can stay healthy. Not every signing needs to be blockbuster. It just needs to be smart, get value, and build a deep roster. And what about the quarterback? This is where things get really interesting. ESPN's highest-rated quarterback for the 2026 free agent class is Daniel Jones. Is that your best option? Followed by Malik Willis and Aaron Rodgers. Is that all? Come on! You're not going to fix this team by throwing money at a mediocre veteran who won't succeed in this system. Rodgers isn't coming to Cleveland, Malik Willis would cost more than he's worth, and Daniel Jones makes no difference. So, the best play? Stick with Shador Sanders. Give him the reins of the team. Let him lead from day one with a full preseason of training and a new offensive scheme tailored to his strengths. It's not a free pass. There will be competition, but it's the most logical path. If he excels, the Browns will finally have found their quarterback. Otherwise, they'll try again in 2027 with an absolutely incredible quarterback class. C.J. Carr, Dante Moore, Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers. There's no reason to panic now. Build the offensive line, build the system. Give your young quarterback the tools he didn't have last year and see what happens. Because if he fits in, if Shadow shines, everything changes overnight. And let's be honest, that's exactly how you win in today's NFL. Look at the teams that made it to the Super Bowl. They built their teams around the quarterback with structure, protection, and game changers. Even Sam Darnold made it to the Super Bowl. That's what Munkin is looking for in Cleveland. Enough excuses, enough stopgap solutions. This team needs a solid foundation, not another temporary patch. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Is ESPN crazy to put Cleveland in 32nd place? Or are they right with their all-out attack message? Leave your opinion in the comments. Who is your starting quarterback for 2026, and what would be your dream pick for the 6th position? Let's now turn the spotlight to the most talked about need after the offensive line and quarterback wide receiver. There's no discussion. Cleveland needs to select a wide receiver in the 2026 draft. Salary cap space is limited, so don't expect big signings in free agency. And even if there were space, the market isn't overflowing with WR1 talent. Alec Pierce might be available, but is it worth overspending on a player who doesn't make a difference as a true number 1? That's not the way to go. The draft is the solution. And thankfully, this class is deep and talented, and the Browns have the necessary picks to make the signing. The 2 main names being considered for the WR position are Cardinal Tay and Jordan Tyson. It's possible that one of them, maybe even both, will be available at the 6th pick. Cardinal Tay, in particular, could be a receiver capable of changing the course of the franchise. He's a complete weapon, speed, sure hands, excellent route execution. Jordan Tyson isn't far behind, and both would give Shador Sanders, or whoever plays quarterback, a legitimate target to stretch the field and dominate one-on-one matchups. But if the Browns choose to bolster the offensive line with the 1st pick, and again, they probably should, the focus on wide receivers shifts to the 24th pick. That's where guys like My Lemon come in. The buzz around Lemon is growing every day. He's being projected to Cleveland more frequently and would be a dream pick at the 24th position. Explosive, refined, and a player who can contribute from day one. Then there's Denzel Boston, a big target who wins battles and has exceptional receiving range. You want size, you want red zone production? This is the guy. And then we have Casey Cumption, the fifth best wide receiver in the class, according to consensus, and probably the one with the best chance of still being available at the 24th pick. He adds value as a kick returner and has a complete game that fits what Monken intends to build in this offense. Beyond the elite names, there are some hidden gems in the mid-rounds that the Browns should definitely keep an eye on. Zachariah Branch is one of them. Mel Kiper considers him an exceptional talent, and rightly so. He's electrifying. Quick feet, great separation, and could be an excellent third-round pick if he falls a bit in the draft. Chris Brazo from Tennessee is another intriguing prospect. He's 6'3", and although Tennessee wide receivers haven't had the best transition to NFL track record, Brazo's size and potential deserve attention. There's also Malachi Fields from Notre Dame. He performed well in the Senior Bowl, is 6'3", and would be a great acquisition later in the draft. Depth and height? That's what the Browns' receiving core has been lacking. The point is, Cleveland can't do anything halfway in this rebuild. It's all or nothing, and that includes securing a wide receiver who can truly change the dynamics of the offense. Amari Cooper isn't coming back that way. They need to create their own future stars, and this draft is the time to do it. When you stop to analyze the big picture, ESPN's all or nothing on offense message, however simplistic and dismissive it may seem, actually has merit. The defense is elite. The coaching change is already in effect. Now, it's about protecting and having passing options around whoever is in the center of the field. It's not just about filling gaps, but about establishing an identity. The Browns have been a reactive team for too long. This is their chance to be proactive, to build a vision and follow it. Monken's arrival matters more than most people realize. His system brings rhythm, spacing, and creativity. This will give young players like Shedeur Sanders the chance to succeed where others have failed. And speaking of Shedeur, make no mistake, he's the X factor in all of this. The Browns didn't spend a first-round pick on him, but the potential is real. He showed flashes of talent last year. Not consistently, not with a high volume of plays, but the tools are there. The composure, the arm, the pocket awareness, it all needs to be honed and supported. The kid was running for his life behind a depleted offensive line last season. Give him an offensive line, give him passing options, and give him a full preseason in the system. Let's see what happens. And let's not ignore this. If it doesn't work, you'll be in a great position for 2027. The quarterback class coming in next year is incredible. C.J. Carr, Dante Moore, Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers. If you invest heavily in the offensive line and offense now, you'll be building the foundation for any quarterback who leads the team in the future. That's exactly what defines the AFC North: physical, unpredictable, difficult. If Monken can manage even a mediocre quarterback performance with this reinforced offensive roster, Cleveland will become a problem in the AFC. That's why the 32nd position in the ranking is more than a lack of respect. It's pure laziness. It ignores the trajectory, the changes in the coaching staff, the investment plan, and the existing talent on the team. ESPN's power rankings are just that, opinions. But the facts don't lie. The Browns are better than 4, 5, maybe even 6 teams this season. And if the front office gets the draft right and is creative with salary cap management, that number will rise even higher. So Browns fans, here's your call to action. Let the rest of the league underestimate us. Let ESPN mock us in February, because we'll be the ones laughing in November if the plan works. Leave in the comments. Which wide receiver do you want in the draft? Which lineman do you want in the 6th position? And is Shador Sanders the guy, or are you eyeing the 2027 class? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click to see more Browns news. All the latest news, rumors, and exclusive Browns draft analysis, you'll only find it here.